But it didn't simmer out. In the end, the genocide was effectively brought to an end by the Rwanda Patriotic Front, a rebel force consisting largely of young Tutsi men and women who had themselves been refugees from earlier ethnic violence. Today, those rebels have become the official army of Rwanda. But despite the US's inaction during the genocide, they are now bound to the US in one of the closest military alliances on the continent. The question is why?
Ladies and gentlemen, General Ward.
Well, this is where a curious difference in presentation arises. The Americans are keen to stress the buzzwords, partnership, and the need to build stability and security in the area.
We indeed are a committed partner, doing things that will help promote stability and security in the region, on the continent, and by so doing, that stability is felt around the world.
The Rwandans are more upfront. They have no illusions about why the United States wants to be their friend.
We are not naive to believe that the United States doesn't have economic interests in the region. Rwanda does not have a lot to offer in terms of economic incentives, but Rwanda has a lot to offer in terms of its position in this area.
So it's a deal. Rwanda gets help and military training from AFRICOM, and the US gets a loyal ally in a country whose neighbors, most notably the Congo, are dangerously unstable but rich in the resources and minerals which the United States of America needs. One way of looking at this is that in '94, at the height of the genocide, America had no interest in Rwanda, and therefore it didn't act. Now, America does have economic interests and security interests, and now it's a friend of Rwanda.
And that's the way the world works. I think that you cannot dwell too much on the past if there are, strategic interests for both partners. America also might be killing two birds with one stone by appearing to its citizens to be caring about Rwanda, while at the same time they are taking care of their strategic interests, such as the minerals and in the neighborhood and so on.
The problem is, African armies can have agendas. The US is training and supporting an army which is integral to the ruling Tutsi-dominated party of Rwanda. It is a party which has made considerable progress in terms of truth and reconciliation and development. But press freedom is restricted. There are serious questions about the conduct of the 2003 elections. And opposition figures can find themselves removed, arrested, or accused of fostering divisionism or genocide ideology. So should the US be training this government's army?
There are many armies in Africa that have been associated with national liberation struggles. And it is important that those armies evolve from guerrilla armies into professional armies, subservient to civilian, constitutional, and democratic authority, just as it is in the United States.
But in Rwanda, the army serves a government accused of undermining democracy. So where does that leave AFRICOM and US policy?